Hello, this is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the paper Muscari, also known as the Grape Hyacinth. Please like this video below and subscribe to my channel. You can find all the supplies listed below the video along with a template to cut through your Cricut, Silhouette, or other cutting machines. First, start with cutting the two shapes. I cut 14 of each shape, but I think I only used 12 of each, but the extra is great in case of any mistakes. I added a darker shade of this periwinkle color, and I'm using this alcohol marker. This is optional, but I wanted a gradient of colors, so I added this just to the bigger second shape and used this or the closest color to your cardstock paper. And also color strokes on a white or off-white tissue paper. Try not to overstroke on the tissue paper. If you color it too much, it will tear the tissue paper. I made a few lines going across and I cut the strip that's about an inch or two wide. Then I cut this strip into squares. I made a total of 14 of these tissue squares with this periwinkle color. You could also try to find this color tissue paper, but since I didn't have any, I just added my own color with the marker onto the white tissue paper. Then use 28 gauge wire. Mine happens to be gold, but you can use any color wire that's thinner. You can use up to 24 gauge wire if you can't find any as thin as 28. Then I got this assorted craft bead packet that comes with a few sizes, and I'm going to be using the 6mm and 8mm roughly. Use the 6mm one first. This is a craft pearl bead. Seems like it's made with plastic. The color also doesn't really matter as long as it's subtle. Then take the wire and closely twist in the center of the bead and do this to 14 of them. Then add the tissue paper in the center and wrap the pearl bead and onto the wire, kind of like wrapping a lollipop. Next, we'll be doing 12 of the smaller shape and 12 of the larger ones, and some of them will be a little darker from my marker that I colored in. Shape them using this mat and shaping ball tool that I'll be linking for you below, and going in a circle motion on each petal and shape them. Then poke a hole in the center for all of them. Then take the 8mm bead, a little bit bigger, and wire them and twist the wire as close to the bead and string that through all the cut patterns. Both the two different pieces should have the same 8mm bead. Only the smaller bead was for the tissue paper part. I'm using the first smaller shape and using white glue and gluing all the petals, and I will link this white glue for you below. It does come with a fine tip, so it's easier to glue the small details like this. I also add a little bit of glue on the top of the bead. Then I gather all the petals and force them to go around the bead as close to the bead as possible. You want to wait a few seconds holding this down for the glue to dry. Another trick is don't overglue this or it will take longer for it to dry. The smallest and first one should be fully closed. Then the second bigger one, you will add glue only on the smaller 3 petals and close the 3 first. Hold this down so it's as close to the bead as possible. Then glue the 3 larger petals, and this larger petal doesn't have to close all the way. You just want to create a circle on the top. This one should look more like a light bulb shape, round bottom and slightly tapered. Then use white acrylic marker and add this to the circle area. Next will be the leaves. These will come in pairs, and I made a variety of different sizes, but make sure you keep them in pairs. Fold down the middle just to see the center, then use white glue around one of the leaf and put floral wire in the center of the leaf, then quickly sandwich the pair on top and gently shape the leaf, making some curl in and some curl out. Make a few of these leaves. Then we'll be putting all the pieces together, put them in order from the tissue paper bead first, then the smaller cut shape that fully covered the bead, then the bigger shape with the white circle on top, then the leaves. I'm taking one of the beads and floral taping it right below the bead so it catches the leftover tissue paper that was wrapped around the wire below. Then slightly go down the wire and right below add another one and make them go around in a circle. It should look like a grape where it starts with one on the tip, then right below have maybe 4 to 5 and continue down the wire. Add all of the beaded ones first. Once you have all the beaded ones, then add all of the smaller cut shape that was fully covered. You could see it's slightly darker since these were made with the cardstock paper. Continue down the wire, and before you go into the bigger shapes, I added a thicker floral stem. I stick it through some of the thinner leftover wires. I floral tape it down an inch to help catch the thicker floral wire, and I trim down the leftover thinner wire. Then floral tape back up and continue on with the rest of the smaller cut shapes and onto the bigger shapes. If you feel like your leftover wire has too much bulk, make sure to trim them down as you go. Then when you are done with all of your pieces, go down the wire closest to the bottom and add your leaves. These leaves are usually closest to the bottom of the flower. The next part will be the bulb that will be the base for this flower. This is optional. You could just add the flower directly into a vase or plant them in a pot. But I also wanted to show you the bulb part. You'll need a styrofoam ball and a strip of brown cardstock paper. I roll the cardstock paper about halfway. Then I cut them just to make it wide enough to make it a cylinder that my stem would fit. Then I take some leftover strips from there and use that as little tabs to glue onto the styrofoam ball. Glue the brown paper cylinder onto the ball first, then add the tabs on the side to help hold it up. Then take foil and mold it onto the ball and also mold on the bottom so that it could stand up on its own. I try to flatten the bottom, but keep the sides round. Then take masking tape and cover all of the foil. Then take brown tissue paper and use matte Mod Podge and cover the whole bulb. Add Mod Podge onto the masking tape and put the tissue paper and Mod Podge on top of the tissue paper as well. It should take a couple hours for this to fully dry. Once it is dry, you could cut down your flower to make it fit the bulb and cut down the cylinder part as well. It should dry after a couple of hours, then trim down your flower to the height you like and add your Muscari flower. These are going to be the perfect gifts for friends and family as a single stem. This also displays really well. I added this to my bookshelf for my home. Try making it yourself. Please like this video below and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.